Parents often enjoy vicarious pleasure seeing their children excel academically. Majority of them, as in the case of Adiza, often want their children subjected to their own injunction in following their passion with regards to choice of career, disregarding the fact that their children's future doesn't predominantly lie on parental choice. Young, 16-year-old intelligent high school student Amina finds herself in such a precarious situation. She is currently in her first year in the government secondary school, and her mother is insisting, against Amina's wish, that she must be in the sciences because of her excellent antecedent in medicine-related vocations. Though Amina's passion is to become a broadcaster, her mother's insistent innuendos suggest she become a medical doctor. Adiza was resolute about her desire for her daughter.
Amina, this is the stage in life you set your future right. If you allow any friend to derail you, there are serious consequences.
Mommy, I know what I'm doing.
Of course you do. That is why you've been following that girl of a joy about. Doing follow. Medical students are serious people. If you must make it, you must be what? Serious.
Mommy, I've heard you.
I hope so. I really hope so.
In accordance with the school policy, Amina engaged in all the departmental subjects offered in year 1, and she excelled in them all. Despite her commitment to all the subjects offered, she was never deterred from her desire to pursue the arts at the slightest opportunity available to her, her mother's opinion notwithstanding. The opportunity Amina was waiting for eventually surfaced at the beginning of her second year. It was, however, snatched from her as her mother made the choice of department on her behalf.
Where are you from? What were you expecting?
Mommy, my art is not in science, so.
Does doctor come from art class? Take this, give it to your class teacher tomorrow.
Adiza was bewildered, to say the least, when she discovered from Amina's report sheet that she had been in the arts department all along. She was enraged at Amina's daring move.
Oh, there is another Amina in your class. I thought you were in science class. Amina! What is this? Nah.
The third and final year just commenced last week, and Adiza is insisting Amina return to the sciences, despite the professional advice from the school authority that it is already too late for Amina to make such a change, as she may not be able to cope.
Madam, your child is one of the excellent few that we have in this school, and she is well able to perform in any field of endeavor.
Doctors don't come from any other field. Only science students become doctor. And that's what I want from a child.
But Adiza is resolute and claims Amina can cope. Else, she will have to repeat the year 2 as a science student.
I grew up with a child. She's barely 11 years old when she started showing the traits of a medical personnel. She's part of the medical team in the church and she's doing excellent well. You've even given her an award in the last 3 years for first aid treatment to students.
That's true. She's actually very good at that. In fact, she's our health prefect.
You see, what else do you want me to say?
But actually, I think the opinion of the child is important in this case.
It's important if only she can be raising straight. Not when she wants to become a broadcaster because her friend is doing same.
My God! Amina, is that true?
Sir, that's where my heart is.
Shut up! I want you to become a medical doctor.
Okay, let's not flare our temper here. I think we can handle this within, but I must warn you, it's already too late. She's in SS3 already. She will be set back in the curriculum. She might not do very well in her final exams.
Whatever, that does not matter to me. If I must continue to send a child to this school, she must be in science class.
My God.
You can't imagine.
Amina is heartbroken and still insisting that she complete her study in the art class, but her mother has vowed to stop funding her academics if she goes ahead to defy her.
Hello, welcome. My name is Rachel. I'm just joining on Decisions. I hope the cold is treating you well because over here my throat is sore, my chest aches, and I'm sniffing. Okay, welcome to the rainy season. Today we're going to be talking about my future, and it's basically for teenagers out there or young adolescents out there who are faced in between career choices, and for parents who also have those kind of words under them and are wondering what to do. I won't be doing this alone as usual. I have Pastor Nosa with me. Welcome, sir.
Thank you for having me.
And I have Pastor Judith Osabase.
you.
Welcome, ma'am. Alright, Pastor Nosa, should parents be firm and stern when it comes to picking a career choice for their kids?
My answer is a big no.
Okay.
And for the simple reason that parents should act more like guidance counselors.
Okay.
They should be our destiny molders, destiny helpers. And so their job is to watch their kids, as they grow.
Yeah.
Where do they excel academically? And then in their everyday life, what are the things they love doing best?
Okay.
If you watch kids, there's always they gravitate towards doing certain things more than others.
Yeah.
And so you watch them, you help them, and then when you get to a certain stage where they need to make that decision, yours is just to guide them towards what they feel they can do best for themselves. Like I have one of my first son. He loves animals. Read books. In fact, there's nothing about any animal in this earth you can ask him and he won't give you an answer off his head.
Okay.
Immediately. The kind of books he reads on biology, animals, that's phenomenal. But my wife wants him to read medicine. And I said, no, sorry. Let's allow this boy, go towards his passion. That's what if you watch that program talking about the heart, my heart is here. And I think that's what matters. Where is the child's heart?
Okay.
Let him follow his heart.
Okay.
That's just it.
On the child heart, ma'am, Pastor Judith, should it the child is young, is it not possible the child heart can be wrong?
If we look at the child, where the child's heart is, just like the Bible says, where a man's
Treasure.
This thing is, where your treasure is, that's where your mind would be. So many a times you see these children, what they are always talking about. As they are waking up, they are sleeping, waking up. So as parents, we should really mark those things, the things that are already coming out from their heart. So if you look at it, these children, what they are always talking about, if you look closely, that thing is what they really want to do and what they want to become.
Ma'am, what guidelines should parents follow when they are trying to guide their children to picking a career choice? Because we cannot totally leave it for the children to decide. At the same time, we cannot leave it for the parents to be totally decisive on it. So what guidelines should the parent look out for?
There are many guidelines that a parent should look out for. Number one is interest of the child.
Okay.
What is that child interested in? Because as we have been saying, as teenagers, they go here today, they go there tomorrow. So we look at the child's interest. That should be number one. And number two is ability. Because a child may be interested, I want to read medicine, but is that child capable?
Okay.
Does she really understand science subjects?
Yeah, what it is.
Because some of them, because my friend is doing it, I want to do. Or when they see doctors on their lab coats, they admire the person. So ability is very, very important. So the parent has to look at the ability. Can
Interest,
that child
ability. Okay.
But there are many students, they enter, I want to read medicine, first year, second year. Immediately they write their second MBA exam, they are out.
And dentistry.
So another thing is the environment. We look at the environment that child is. Is that environment, if you read medicine, or that course course you want to pursue, if you read that course, that environment you are, will it be marketable?
Okay.
Because there are people, they say, I want to read medicine, or they will choose a particular aspect of medicine, maybe veterinary medicine. And when you read medicine, you are in the south. Here, you don't see, the thing doesn't move. Anyway, that one is the labor market. You consider the labor market. Will it move in this part of the country?
Okay.
So these are some of the guidelines a parent should.
So Pastor Nusha, she has said we should look at interest, ability, and environment. Is there something you'd like to add to that?
Well, just this when it talks about the labor market, for me, everything has to do with your passion. No matter the kind of environment or the market, once you have that passion, your passion always attracts things to you, no matter what. No matter what. Most time you find that many of us are into things that we don't have a passion for, and so we don't excel. We don't excel.
Just mediocre.
Just mediocre as average. Because we don't have the passion. Our heart is
nothing
not there.
Nothing is pushing us.
Nothing is pushing us. But if you are in where your passion is, even if you're in the desert, you will excel.
Bring water out of the desert.
Straight away.
Okay. She was talking about abilities. Now, on abilities, does academic excellence determine abilities? Because for this case study and so many other children, they tend to they're making it well academically, they're getting their A's and B's. But is that the kind of ability you're talking about? Personally, I would like to talk about that.
Yes and no.
Okay.
It's two ways. You see, like the girl we just watched that caption shot we watched. You find that she excelled in both science and arts. Yeah. But which one she had the ability. Okay. Speaking to either go this way or that way. Yeah. But her passion was in a particular place. Okay? So at times you may have the abilities you may be good in both sciences and arts. But when it comes to career choice, you find that your heart is in a particular place. If the mother says, okay, I want to be a doctor, fine, she will go through school, she will graduate, she will pass her exams, but her passion is not there. She would excel. Of course, she can go through medical school and finish well, even make the best result. But I tell you, in practice, she won't excel.
So we're saying academic ability doesn't necessarily mean career excelling ability.
It doesn't always follow.
Okay, Ma, do you have a different view from that?
No, it's just like what you have said. A child may be very good in both arts and sciences, but there is a particular area where the interest is. Yeah. And as parents, we should allow them. We should allow them, guide them. Because I have a case of a boy that the parents insisted he should read medicine. The boy said, I don't want to read medicine. They say you must, like the girl we watched. So the boy accepted, because the father was a medical doctor. The boy accepted, did medicine, did his youth service, and when he finished, he gave the parent the certificate. I said that they have satisfied you. So take, I'm not here. And the boy is into catering. They say in Lagos he's making waves. Some of these top weddings he's the one covering them. So he did the medicine, satisfied the parents. But now he's into what
Something
is,
else.
yes.
And that time you could have you could have used to
They
build
wasted the money and the
Okay.
rest.
Okay,
yes.
I understand. Now speaking on how do I put it now? On like parents keep mentioning most times about what the child has been doing, like your unit in church, you are health prefect, so and so and all of that. The truth is, if a child was a music director in church, would they say they should go and read music? Or if a child was with the media team, would they ask you to go and read photography? The question now is, how do we know the pros and cons of a particular career? We'll be right back.
Okay.
Children, teenagers pick their career choice, especially young, multi-talented ones. Because there's only one thing you know how to do, there's only one thing you know, you won't have much of a choice. But when you can do this, you can
Advise them to let their kids be and just watch them, guide them, help them.
make their mistakes.
Let them make their mistakes. They are young, they can always, but make sure that the basics are there.
So some of our parents are not enlightened.
Okay.
Even some of them that are enlightened, they are selfish. They have selfish motives.
Yes.
Some of them, what they
Welcome back. It's Decisions. If you're just joining us, we've been talking about teenagers and parents as regards to career choice. International relations students, when you ask them what they want to do is work at an airport or at the embassy. But do they really work at the airport and the embassy? So I think if parents can help children see the pros and cons before they go to the university, it's going to be good. So what do they have to do, Pastor Nosa?
Well, thank you. I think it's a mix of not just parents now. Like in your case, you find that there was something you liked, and your teacher said no. But I wish that teacher was more of a guidance counselor.
Okay.
Would have been able to sit you down and then begin to ask questions, and then from the interaction, you would have told that teacher that, oh, I love seeing people, those newscasters on TV, I like it, and she was okay. So from the kind of answers you will give, the guidance counselor will give you,
I wasn't law or
you say that you
medicine.
like this, you say yes, I should have be able to tell you, oh, you can read this in school if you want to, which you didn't know at that time. So information becomes very crucial in making a choice. I give my example. My first jam form, my dad bought it for me.
Okay.
I didn't know what jam was. I didn't know what, I was good in both science and arts.
Okay.
My dad bought because he wanted me to read medicine.
Okay.
And I know that if you ask me to kill chicken here, I won't be able to, because I hate blood. So how could somebody who hates blood, don't like saying blood, not go and read medicine, as messy as that course could be, So he bought my first jam form, feed what I wanted to do,
Without asking you.
Without asking me, just felt my first son was reading medicine, and because my uncle, some of my cousins, and medicine was a kind of status symbol, even till now. It's the first thing every parent would say, my son or daughter must read medicine.
Yeah.
And so he chose that for me. But where God helped me again was that in filling my jam form, he didn't put physics. He chose literature. So it was total, I didn't do physics in my jam, but that was the only course I didn't do. And you need those marks, chemistry, physics to do medicine. So that was where I was rescued. Because my heart was not there. I didn't want to read medicine because I know I can't face blood and all those, a lot of things that has to do with medicine. So some of these things are what we have to guide against, information.
Okay. So we should open the child up to information on those courses. Okay. Ma, I was going to ask a question before we went on the break. On when parents say you've been in the health unit in church for a long time, so this is it. You've been in what's this? Red and white, Red Cross, yes, Red Cross for a long time. So you should need to do this. Why don't parents say you've been in the media unit for a long time? You should go and do photography. So how do we attack parents, or how do parents watch out their selfish desires?
Just like Pastor Nosa said, information is very important.
Okay.
So some of our parents are not enlightened.
Okay.
Even some of them that I lightened, they are selfish. They have selfish motives.
Yes.
Some of them, what they couldn't achieve, they want the children to do. They don't even consider whether that child will be able to do it or not. So some of these parents, and they look at the society, they think that it's only those that read medicine, people that read law that will make it in life. Not knowing that what is like the Pastor Dosa said, if it's of God, even when you are in the desert, God will make water to flow in that desert for you. There are many children that read medicine today, they are not even practicing. Some that read law, I have many of them. Some of them are into teaching now. They will tell them, okay, for you to even teach, go and get your education
course,
qualification. So we should enlighten our parents. Let our parents study their children. Don't compare your child with another child. Don't because of what you couldn't achieve, you now want your child. Somebody was telling me, say, we are having problem with our land now. The lands that my father left, I wanted to read law. Had it been a read law now, I would have been in the right position to drag this land.
And people fight for land like 10, 15 years.
So parents should really be enlightened. Let them know what is good for their children, not just what is good for them. Because they will soon go.
Yes.
And that child that will come tomorrow will start regretting, will live a miserable life.
Yes.
So our children, our parents should be enlightened to know what is good for our children.
Okay, because of time, we're going to rush up our next question, which is, how do we help children, teenagers, pick their characters, especially young, multi-talented ones? Because there's only one thing you know how to do, there's only one thing you know, you won't have much of a choice. But when you can do this, you can do that. If there are things that are so different, for example, arts and something in sciences. So how do you help a multi-talented child streamline?
Again, I think it all has to do with guidance.
Okay.
If you ask that child, okay, I can do this, but which do you love best?
Okay.
Where does your heart tell you to go? You understand? So you tend to, and then maybe at times you marry with the academic aspect of it.
Okay.
If your child loves medicine, and you're not good in maybe physics or biology, it don't work.
Okay.
Or you want to read law in school, and you're not good in one of the arts subjects that you need. So you find that this, until the child is able to settle that deficiency, then you cannot advance.
Okay. Pastor Judy, do we have to even box these children? Is it not? I know of a female surgeon who is also a model, and she tries to sometimes during the period of her life where modeling jobs are more, she reduces her medicine jobs there. Sometimes when wages are low, she does that. So do we have to box them? Can we not allow them to fly free? Yes, and just do everything they want to do.
And that's what it's supposed to be. We should allow our children to perform their own, what they want to do. We should give them that free hand. Because if you force them or insist that they should do what you want, they may be miserable and they will end up not achieving or fulfilling their destiny in life. Yeah. So we should allow our children. Our own is just to guide them. And if we are Christian parents, is to prayerfully guide them. Yes.
Pastor, what are your final words for parents and for teenagers in shoes like this?
Well, for parents, I would just advise them to let their kids be, and just watch them, guide them, help them.
Make their mistakes.
Let them make their mistakes. They are young; they can always, but make sure that the basics are there in place. The right courses, the right subjects, and then for kids, let me quickly say this: you may not know what you want to do until you've left university.
Yes. Yes.
For someone who's multi-talented, you may not know what you want to do, really want to do, until like the guy who said who read medicine later went to modeling. Yeah. So until you leave school, you may not really know where your heart really wants you to go. So this thing takes time.
For kids that are being forced right now, that they cannot do another thing. For example, the lady in question here, she can't actually read art right now because her mother is not going to train her. So what would you advise her to do? Would you advise her to go for it, and then later, what would you advise her to do?
Since the mother is the only benefactor for now, the father is late, I will advise, let the child try. I'm using try because that is not what she wants to do.
Yeah.
So since as she was growing up, she was good in sciences. I will still advise, let that child try and please the mother. At the end, God may really put her where she belongs.
Okay. So, sir?
Well, I wish there's a way that there could be some intervention.
Okay.
Because she could end up destroying that girl's destiny. Yeah, bring her for life. So if there's some other ways that God could touch her, or maybe there's a way that
get someone else to
ask her to tell me, allow this girl, like my wife, she wants to be like, I said, no, live there. And then, even if you say I want to be a carpenter today, I will support them.
Yeah.
But if it's your heart, I want to be a cobbler, shoemaker, I will support you in it, but I know you will excel.
Yeah.
But I'll ensure that in that field, you go to the best, to the highest level.
Yeah.
I will train you to the highest in that field.
Okay.
So that's it.
Finally, because of time, because we're on decisions, we're going to ask you the best or worst decision you've ever made in your life, apart from giving your life to Christ and apart from getting married. Pastor Nusa.
Well, for me, the worst was, again, has to do with career church then, when my dad was trying to
make me
medicine, and I wasted about 2 years.
Oh.
3 years. Trying to achieve something that was not in my,
Wow.
That was the worst this thing for me.
Thank God has corrected.
Yes,
Pastor Judith, ma, don't say when you got married.
I don't think there's any other one apart from those two. Those two you have mentioned.
Okay then.
I don't think there's any other one, but I will still go back to marriage.
Let's be my love. Thank you very much for joining us on this episode of Decision. You could follow up our social media and drop your questions, drop your contributions. You could ask them questions on their own personal social media accounts that will be displayed on your screen shortly. Thank you for joining us. We hope you have a nice week. Bye.
No home, thinking all is lost. You look so sad. Do you really know how beautiful you are? The Spirit of the Lord